What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on the Knicks and their situation and what I think the problem is with the Knicks. Right? I think the big problem is Karl Anthony Town and his inconsistency and the fact that Karl Anthony Towns has been underperforming, right? And I said, early in the season, or even before coming into the season, that Karl Anthony Towns and the New York Knicks really, really had something to prove, and they had to be motivated and had to look like they were on a mission coming into the season. And I didn't see that. You know, what I saw is the same thing I've been seeing from Karl Anthony Towns, throughout his career. Like he'll play motivated and inspired in spurts, and then at sometimes he don't play that way. He's very inconsistent. That's something that Tom Thibodeau put up. That he learned how to manage him, so to say, and put up with it to a certain extent. Mike Brown was brought in to get the Knicks over that hump, right? And in order to get the Knicks over that hump, Mike Brown, have to basically inspire Karl Anthony Towns and the rest of the Knicks to play better than what they played last year. Because basically, the Knicks didn't make any roster changes. Like, they didn't bring in anybody better or anything to help. So that means that Mike Brown has to have a different coaching style, or a different coaching philosophy that the Knicks players will have to identify with and buy into. And Karl Anthony Towns, is not trying to buy into Mike Brown's philosophy. And as a matter of fact, he has really regressed in his play. He's in my opinion, he's gotten worse, right? So I'm listening to, I think it was First Things First with Chris Broussard. And he kind of placed some of the blame on Mike Brown and Jalen Brunson, right? And so now, before I play that audio, because he's going to say that, it's up to Jalen Brunson to get his teammate involved in the offense, which I agree. But I think Jalen Brunson kind of really loses confidence in this guy because he don't show up. He's not consistent. If you look at the way Jalen Brunson played, man, he's hard. He's grinds it out, and he is a hard-nosed type basketball player all the time. And so that got to be frustrating for your players, even the rest of the team. The defense, they play that way, and then Karl Anthony Towns don't play that way like that with them, and so he the odd man out. He makes himself the odd man out, and it's hard to want to motivate somebody like that or keep on asking this guy to perform. Like you one of the leaders on a team. People shouldn't have to motivate you or to ask you to play at a high level or inspire you. You know, you should really be feeding off of what your teammates are doing, and they should be feeding off what you're doing. And so let me play what Chris Broussard had to say, though, and then I want to react to what Chris Broussard had to say.
This is real panic time. Look, entering the season, they were the clear favorite in the East. Indiana obviously is hurt with Halliburton out. Boston with Tatum out. Cleveland's had their own playoff issues, even worse than the Knicks. And now Detroit was young, and you beat them. Now I got Detroit ahead of them. I don't think they're coming out of the East. I'm not totally 100% writing them off. And here, look, last night, Nick, how do you not show up for that game? Karl Anthony Towns took 5 shots. Look, I think part of that is on him. He's got to be more aggressive and give me some. If they're not getting the ball to you, go get some offensive rebounds. He had 1. You're 6'11". Get more than 1 offensive rebound and create your own offense.
Right. And see, that's my whole point. I remember Patrick Ewing when he was playing for the Knicks. Patrick Ewing used to demand the ball, but at the same time, Patrick Ewing was also crashing the boards and playing defense, right? And he was getting his own shots. And Patrick Ewing also told like who was it? John Starks used to tell John Starks, if you shoot that ball, he was going to do something to him, right? And so you can't. It's in my opinion, like it's this guy Karl Anthony Towns, man. He the weak link.
But also, I put some of it on Mike Brown and Jalen Brunson. You are the point guard. A point guard or a head coach should say, let's get our guy something. Let's get him some plays to get him going. Let's get going. He was 5 for 5.
And I do believe that Mike Brown wants to be able to count on he want to be able to count on Karl Anthony Towns, right? Because naturally, like if Karl Anthony Towns is playing up to his ability, then that makes the game easier for Jalen Brunson and everybody else on the court. And it makes Mike Brown a better coach when you have somebody who's playing up to his potential. But when you got Karl Anthony Towns, and Charles Barkley said it, this guy Karl Anthony Towns, man, is playing 20 and 25 feet away from the basket when he have a shorter player on him. So he don't, like why, if you're Jalen Brunson, why you want to get him the ball when he's 25 feet away from the basket? If he might have been 5 for 5 shooting jumpers. That's different than 5 for 5 in the paint. If no point guard in their right mind is going to stop giving the ball to their big man if they 5 for 5 and they playing in the paint and they getting easy buckets. Why would a point guard shoot the ball? If you got somebody who's just killing on the blocks, but those jumpers that this guy Karl Anthony Towns, man, it sets the pace for the team too. It makes not only Karl Anthony Towns less aggressive, but it makes his teammates less aggressive because they they're not crashing the boards. They're just standing around waiting to see what Karl Anthony Towns do with the ball. And Karl Anthony Towns, if he's gonna shoot jumpers, he's gonna have to be perfect from out there in order for the Knicks to be able to win. So, like Charles Barkley said, man, this guy Karl Anthony Towns don't know how to play basketball. You take those smaller guys in the paint, you get easy buckets. The big guys, you could pull them out, and y'all do the pick and roll when they put somebody big on you. Then you use your athletic skills against those big guys. But Brunson, I've always seen Brunson just play hard and go full speed, all the time. And so I know that a player like Brunson don't want to play like that all game, all season long. Like he wants this guy Karl Anthony Towns to help him. Same thing with Mike Brown. Like Mike Brown just can't look at Brunson and see Brunson and the rest of the players out there going hard and then say, all right, y'all give the ball to Karl Anthony Towns. Why give him the ball? If you have a rhythm and the team, everybody is moving because Brunson got the ball and Brunson might feed, somebody else might cut and get an easy basket. Why kick it all the way out there to Karl Anthony Towns, man? We just gonna shoot a jumper, right? So I can't blame it on.
This is my boy.
Let's get going. He was 5 for 5, so he had it going.
That's what
Get him to rock. And 4 of those shots, Nick, were in the first quarter. So from the last 3 quarters, he took 1 shot. What is your point guard and your head coach thinking in a game against a rival when you're not getting your second best player the ball? This is real panic time. This is real panic.
Yeah, I just think that it is panic time. And the reason why it's panic time for them is because of Karl Anthony Towns. Point guards who have to work as hard as Jalen Brunson, he don't want to work like that, man. If you look at Jalen Brunson, man, he just looked like he got a lot of miles on him, man. After every game, he is wore out. And the rest of the team, after every game, they wore out. It's basically, in my opinion, it's like the Knicks are playing 5-on-4 basketball. 4-on-5. The Knicks got 4, and then their opponents got 5. And they had the opportunity before Detroit, and picked up steam. Now you got Boston looking pretty good. They had the opportunity to set themselves apart, come into the season focus on a mission, being able to buy into the program. But if I'm Mike Brown, I don't appreciate the way this guy Karl Anthony Towns played. If I'm Jalen Brunson or the rest of Karl Anthony Towns teammates, I don't appreciate the way he play. You know, um, you just can't. He gonna hit those jumpers from time to time, but he's not gonna get big rebounds for you. He's not gonna really get the blocks that you need him to get. He's not gonna be that presence in the middle, man, that you need him to do. He out there standing right beside Jalen Brunson. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'm gonna check you all out in the next video.